I doubt they ate pizza because you can't be milchik.
You can't be Chaim.
Yeah.
Nobody was looking.
Yeah. Wonder what type of sauce they had.
Because that's the Michael Echad. When the Goyim would come and they would see they bow down to one God and they eat one Michael. Actually, the one Michael was a golden Pesach.
Right. So we have 4 parshas over here. The 4 parshas are Parshas Shkalim, Parshas Zachar, Parshas Para, Parshas Achodesh. Okay. Shkalim is always a Shabbos of or Shabbos before Rosh Chodesh Adar. Zachar, Shabbos before Purim. Para, Shabbos before Rosh Chodesh Nisan. And HaChodesh, either Shabbos of or Shabbos before Rosh Chodesh Nisan. And then Para is always 1 week before HaChodesh. And most years you're going to have only a 1 week, thank you very much, a 1 week break between Parshias. And some years when Rosh Chodesh Adar comes out to be on a Friday, so then you could have a break of 2 weeks that you don't read one of the 4 Parshias. There's 2 opinions in the Gemara about when you read these 4 Parshias, Shkalim, Zachar, Para, and Achodesh. Do you read this as an addition to the weekly Parsha? Or do you read this as a substitute instead of the weekly Parsha? Sort of like a Yom Tiv, where you read the Torah reading of the Yom Tiv instead of the Torah reading of that Shabbos. So Shabbos Chol Moed Pesach, you read the Kriya of Shabbos Chol Moed Pesach, and so on. So if you have the Gemara up to the Chamishis Chayzon L'Kesidron in the Yard Scroll, it is on 30B1. 30B1. I don't know if the Yard Scroll. I went to there. B'Chamishis Chayzon L'Kesidron. Over here on my left, you'll see a screen. For those who are here. On the 5th Shabbos, after these 4 special Parshas, Para, HaChodesh, Shkalim, and Zachar, you go back to the regular order. L'Seder Mai, order of what? One time, there was an Israeli politician who was Yichidus by the Rebbe, and the Rebbe asked him, like, how is he doing? And he said, Akol Beseder, everything is good. And the Rebbe said, Beseder is not always the best thing, because part of the Seder, part of the regular way of things, that there's some good things and some not good things. Much better to hear that everything is good. So which type of Seder are you going to? Which order? Rabbi Ami Omer l'Seder Parshas Chaser. Rabbi Ami says that you go back to the regular weekly order of reading the Parsha, meaning that during these 4 weeks of these 4 Parshas, he says, you don't even read the weekly Parsha. So let's say the weekly Parsha of that week was Mishpatim, Tetzaveh, Kisisa, Vayakel. You don't read the weekly Parsha. Instead, you read just one of those 4 Parshas. Now, a Parsha like Parsha Zachar, which is only 5 or 6 psukim, how do you get 7 aliyahs out of it? I don't know.
You repeat?
You repeat, but how many times could you repeat? And what do you read from after that you haven't read in the beginning? Right. So how exactly do you keep on repeating? Or maybe you read a little bit longer from those Parshias, meaning not just the exact part, but a little bit longer from the Parsha. But he says during those 4 weeks, you don't read that Parsha at all. You read just the 4 Parshas. Rabbi Yirmiyah says, L'seder haftorah suchazer. You go back to the order of the haftorah. Used to, when the Jews during the Greek times, they were outlawed from learning Torah, so they instituted the haftorah. And you read the one who receives the last aliyah, they receive the haftarah. They read 21 psukim or a complete topic from the prophets from Nevi'im.
What's interesting is that we do it even now, even when the Gezerah is away.
Correct. To commemorate the miracle. And we went through this earlier, which was the most prestigious aliyah. Right? Many people say maftir. It's not a prestigious aliyah. It's a Rabbanan aliyah. It's not a Moshe Rabbeinu or Ezra HaSefer aliyah. And other people say that maftir is the most prominent aliyah. Amar Abaya says, Kavase dir ami mistabra. It is reasonable that one should act in accordance of Reb Ami, that you don't read the weekly parsha during those 4 weeks. I'm sure you would enjoy it. You come to shul, the whole entire Torah reading is 12 psukim that you're repeating over and over. But he says you don't read the weekly parsha. The Tanan, based on the words of our Mishnah, which we learned previously, La koil mafsikin. For all special days, we interrupt the regular order of Torah reading. So today was a Monday, and we read the Rishon of Parshas Matos. And if it will be a Rosh Chodesh, when Rishon of Matos, meaning if it was Matos Maseh, first half of Rishon. No, I'm sorry, by Kriya and Shul.
Today's Yom Sheni.
Right, today's Yom Sheni, but today's Monday. But right, and the Kriya was Rishon, the first Aliyah of Parshas Matos. But if it's a Rosh Chodesh or if it's a fast day, you wouldn't read the Monday, Thursday Kriya. You would read the Kriya of the fast day. So he says a similar thing. Lakol mafsikin. Our Mishnah said you interrupt the regular order of events for every single prominent day. The Rosh Chodesh, Rosh Chodashim, the Chanukah, the Purim, Taniyas, Mamados, Yom Kippurim. For Rosh Chodesh, you don't read the regular Torah reading. For Chanukah, you don't read it. Purim, you don't read it. Fast day, you don't read it. Mados, you remember what that was?
Yeah, say certain psukim, the whole
right
collection of people that in order that the bag shouldn't be empty or something.
Right, exactly. So the representatives of every city of the Jewish nation used to send representatives to the Beis Hamikdash, and they had other representatives who would fast on that day, and they would read Parshas Bereshis. And we went before through the Kriyas Torah of how they would divide the aliyahs. How could you get 3 aliyahs of at least 10 psukim during those days? And if you read just like the 7 days of creation during my mother's, so these were select people who would fast. Yom Kippurim and Yom Kippur as well. Now we group Yom Kippur together with everything else: Rosh Chodesh, Chanukah, Purim, fast days, my mother's, and Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur falls out to be on a Thursday. Do you read the Thursday Torah reading? No, you read the Yom Kippur Torah reading. So if it's grouped together with everything else, that means whenever one of these days comes out to be a Yom HaKriya, a day of Torah reading, whether it's a weekday or a Shabbos, okay, then you would read that Torah reading. So let's say Rosh Chodesh will be on Shabbos, according to our current understanding of the Mishnah. You would not read the Kriya of Shabbos. Instead, you would read just a Kriya of Rosh Chodesh on that day. So then the same thing would apply to the 4 parshas. If it's one of the 4 parshas, on Shabbos, Shabbos Zachar, Parah, Chodesh, Shkalim, you would not read the weekly Torah portion, just that short parsha. Abaye explains his proof why Reb Ami is the one who is more logical, more reasonable, that you don't read the weekly Torah portion, and instead you read just the one that special one of the 4 parshas of that week. Bishlam Lamanda Amar, the Seder Parshas Uchoizer. Granted, if you are resuming the weekly order of Torah portions, of Torah readings, Hainu Deika Parsha Bechol. So that explains why on a weekday there's a reading of a weekly Torah portion on a weekday. Right? Because Purim or Chanukah and Purim, Chanukah is definitely on a weekday. If it's 8 days long, it must be on a weekday. Maybe Rosh Chodesh could be on a Shabbos if it's one day. Purim technically could fall out on a Shabbos, although it doesn't according to the fixed calendar. A fast day, most times, if you push it off from Shabbos and you read on a different day. But Rosh Chodesh, Chanukah is definitely always on a weekday, and it says that you push away the regular Torah reading for Chanukah. According to the one who says that during the week of the 4 parshias, these 4 special Torah portions, Chodesh, Parah, etc., Zachar, Shkalim. So according to the one who says that you go according to that you read the regular weekly Torah portion, Rabbi Yirmiyah, and the extra parsha is just an addition as a maftir, but it's not part of the grain, the core Torah reading. How is it possible to say that on a weekday or on my mother's, on a fast day, he goes back to the regular Seder, the order of Haftarahs? Are there any Haftarahs on a weekday? Right? There is no Haftarahs on a weekday.
Okay, what did they do when they weren't allowed to read the Torah? Maybe they had Haftarahs during the week.
You're saying when maybe they read Haftarah during the week on Monday, Thursday, and the Mishnah is talking about that particular situation. It's a good point, valid point. I don't know. It's a good question. So the Mishnah could be talking about that particular situation.
No, actually, when you think about it, that they instituted the Haftarah, but didn't let them read the Torah. This is Yaakov taking away the Bechorah from Esav. He tricked them.
Yeah.
He tricked them.
He tricked the
Can you imagine what the world would be like if Esav got the Bechorah?
Right.
So Yaakov, no matter what, he got it.
So you're saying we got a double portion. We get to read the Torah and the Haftarah.
Yes.
This is how Yaakov fooled Esav to get the double portion of the Torah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's shkoyach. It's a good shot. Thank you.
Well, what did Esav do that Hashem had told the Jews that they can't get any of his territory because he's given it to Esav? What was the merit?
That the Esav would have received the Torah?
No. Hashem had told the Jews that they're not going to be getting any of Esav's territory, any of the territory of Edom, because Hashem has given it actually to the descendants of Esav. What did Esav do to merit that?
He went away. Yeah, that's always my big question. It says in the pasuk that Esav went away to Edom because there wasn't enough pasture for his and Yaakov's flocks.
Right.
When did Yaakov and Esav have flocks together? Yaakov had nothing. He went away to.
No, when he came back, he had tremendous
Esav
flocks.
was already in Seir by then. That's when he met him with 400 men that came from Seir.
Right, correct. But before he married a girl from Seir because he saw his father did not like the Canaanim. But who says he moved there? He moved there afterwards.
So he says when he went back to Seir after them they met.
Right.
So when was it that they lived?
That they had a lot of flocks.
That they had to the land was.
Good question.
That's a good question.
Was it actually that in the merit of Esav actually honoring his father he got it, or what was the merit actually
that he received? That he would receive Mitala Shemaim.
No.
So he received. Esav receives Olam Haza. Yaakov receives Olam Haba.
I see.
Right. So Hashem gives him a good Olam Haza in order that Olam Haba he should not have any good.
Because Hashem has told the Jews, you're not going to be getting an inch of Esav's territory. It would have been good to have his territory.
No, the land was Esav's land is total tumor. Why would you want to have it?
The Gemara answers, V'idach, Hakadisa, Hakadisa. Rabbi Yirmiyah, who says that you read the weekly Torah portion. I'm not sure if they can hear me online. Looks like Zoom is just crashing itself. V'idach, Hakadisa, Hakadisa. Rabbi Yirmiyah, who says, Rabbi Yirmiyah, who says that you return to the regular order of Haftarahs, but the Kriyas HaTorah is the same Kriyas HaTorah as usual. How will he explain the Mishnah that says that even on a fast day and a day of my mother's, you interrupt the weekly Torah reading? These could only be in a weekday, and there's no Haftarah at all. And our Mishnah mentions Haftarah, you also interrupt. My answer is Hakadisa, Hakadisa. So he says our Mishnah is not, you don't have to read our Mishnah set in stone. It says these are like this and these are like that. On a weekday where you have no Kriyas HaTorah, you have no Torah reading, there's no Haftarah, even it is pushed off because of my mother's. And so too, a fast day and my mother's, it pushes off. But on Shabbos, we have Haftarah, then you can't push off the weekly Torah reading. So that's how he explains Pshat. You don't push off the weekly Torah reading on Shabbos. So Hakadisa, Hakadisa, this is how you explain this part of the Mishnah. This is how you explain that part of the Mishnah. So when he says you interrupt, in some places it means you interrupt just the Torah reading and not the Haftarah. And some says you interrupt the Torah reading and the Haftarah. Some means you interrupt only the Haftarah. So by the 4 parshas, interruption is only the Haftarah, in order that you shouldn't have to push it away. But the whole Mishnah, you could divide sort of the words in the Mishnah. These words apply to here, these words apply to there.
Did the sound go off?
Yeah, it seems like
We lost the rabbi.
Yeah, looks that way.
sweet.
I hope we didn't do anything wrong. We get kicked out of class or something.
I'll take the blame.
I wasn't chewing gum.
I'm going to log out and then try to log back in.
I think I'm gonna do that too.
Yeah.
Okay, see you guys soon, hopefully. Bye. Might have been expelled for the day.
Apparently his Zoom must have crashed.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Okay, very good. Hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay, Moisha, be well.
Yeah.
Hey, Rabbi, you're back.
Oh, I'm sorry, you couldn't hear me. Yossi, how are you? Thank you for I don't know what happened. We got interrupted.
But everybody ran away.
Yeah, I don't blame them. You blame it on technology. Thank you.
No, they were not sure if you can make it back.
No, I did a restart and then it worked. Maybe we should do a daily restart. It's like, it's just had a whole weekend without using it. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's technology is as far as we've come. There's still always a little something. On a fast day, we when it comes to Shachris and Mincha, we read the same Torah portion twice. Moshe that prayed to Hashem, forgive the Jewish nation, for they have sinned. And what will the nation say if you're so cruel to them? Where is Hashem? Where is God? Why is Hashem? Hashem took them out of Egypt to destroy them in the desert. And Hashem forgave the Jewish people. And later on, Hashem taught Moshe Rabbeinu the secret password, how we could get forgiven at any time, which is 13 Yud Gimel Midas Harachamim, the 13 attributes of mercy. When you say it, and we say we daven to Hashem, Hashem will always have mercy. Right, so Hashem gave us the cheat code how to always invoke Hashem's mercy. The Mishnah said that when it comes to a fast day, we do not read the weekly Torah portion. Let's say a fast day is on a Monday. Shiva Sabbatamos just a few weeks ago was on a Thursday, right? It was Tuesday. It was on a Tuesday? A Thursday, I think, right? Thursday.
I think so, yeah.
It was Thursday, right? So we came on Monday in the morning to Shul, and the Torah portion we read was not the weekly Torah portion of Pinchas. It was the parsha of the fast day. Now, on a fast day, you read the Torah by Shachris and by Mincha. Why interrupt the weekly Torah portion? Why not read the weekly Torah portion by Shachris? You're anyways going to read the Torah again by Mincha. Yeah?
The 23rd of July.
Okay. I stand corrected. So if you're anyways going to read correct on a Tuesday, but if you're anyways going to read the weekly Torah portion, you read the fast day Kriya by Mincha, why also read it by Shachris? And the Gemara says a very interesting thing. So just to read inside, Lameli Lavsaka. Why do I need to interrupt the regular order of Torah readings for a Monday or Thursday? Likir Mitzafar Ben Yonah by Shachris. The morning services read the weekly Torah parsha. V'mincha b'tanisa, and a mincha read the Torah portion of the fast day. And why make an interruption? So Gemara answers, Rav Huna says that on a fast day, what's supposed to be a fast day is not merely a day where you're hungry and you eat a late breakfast, right? Or you eat a late lunch. An early breakfast before it gets light and a late lunch. It's not a fast day. And the whole day you lay in bed with the air conditioner, groaning about how hungry you are, and reading a novel or watching the news. That's not supposed to be what a fast day is about. A fast day is Yom Ratzon Hashem, a time to do teshuvah, time to return to Hashem. So on the day of a fast day in the morning, everybody would go and do his bodedut, go by themselves and do introspection, make a cheshbon. What could I do? How can I fix my actions? Do teshuvah. And by every fast day, whenever they made a public fast, we've had Mesechta Tainis some examples of this. What they said, when a calamity happens, is because of a certain thing that happened. Either a Torah scholar passed away, wasn't eulogized properly, or the people were acting in a not good way, or transgressing a certain avera. And that's why a calamity happens, and therefore a fast is the time to do teshuvah. So in the morning, everybody is everyone is either by themselves and doing introspection and trying to find out what they could fix in the day. Later on in the afternoon, we said everyone gathers together, and the Yonim, the leaders of the community, say what they found the community could fix, and everyone could go add their own thing, how they can fix. So therefore, in the morning is not a time to make a minyan, make a kriyas Torah. So according to Rav Huna, they would not read the Torah in the morning on a fast day by Shacharis, only by Mincha, because it wouldn't be gathering together. You read the Torah reading to remind you to do teshuvah. Right? So Torah reading is not just a part of davening that you have to sit around. It's something to pay attention to. How about us? I mean, I'm much younger than everyone else over here, but since I've been around, I've never seen anybody go in the morning of a fast day and sit and do introspection and do cheshbonos, what they're supposed to do. I've personally never seen it. Maybe you have.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
And some of the Goinim, because of that, said since it's not as widespread of a custom as it used to be, so they would actually not make an interruption. By Shacharis would read the Torah reading of Monday and Thursday. But the Ran says that basically the entire fast day has become a Yom Ratzon, an entire day, an auspicious day. And an auspicious day, such a great day, like a fast day, we have to dedicate it completely to the ideas, to the theme of a fast day. Even though nowadays people don't usually do introspection in the morning.
Perhaps the Haftorah takes the place of introspection.
By Mincha.
Yeah.
What about by Shacharis?
It's a good question.
Right. I mean, the Rebbe.
Well, you've already said what do you call it? Slichas.
Correct. By Shacharis, we say slichas. We're saying maybe that when you say slichas, that takes the place of the cheshbon you're supposed to make. Rashi says that Kinufya means everyone gathers together and there's no time to read the Torah. Right? What do you mean there's no time? There's time to daven Shacharis. Why isn't there time to read the Torah? But he says during the morning you're busy with the fast day. You're involved in doing what the fast day has to do. So that can also apply even nowadays. That you're busy with doing whatever has to be done on a fast day. Let's continue. But what's halacha nowadays? Of course, on a fast day we read the Torah portion of the fast day about Shacharis and Mincha. And when it comes to the 4 parshias, we don't interrupt. We don't stop the weekly Torah reading, but rather we have it as a maftir, as an addition. Gemara says, "Heichi Avdinan, what does a community do on a public fast day?" Amr Abaya says, and those of us with long memories remember from last summer when we learned this Mesechta Tainis. Abaya says, "Mitzafra in the morning, until midday." You take stock of the fears of the town. So we're not speaking about the 4 fasts that we have about the Beis Hamikdash, and we're not speaking about Tainis Esther. We're speaking about a fast day which is instituted because of a trouble. It's not raining, an army, enemies are coming, there's hunger, there's drought, there's inflation, going crazy numbers. Remember that was one of the things? And little do we know. So the first half of the day, it's time for communal soul searching. And then from the midday till the afternoon, till it gets dark. So you divide that part of the second half of the day into 2. So for a quarter of the day, they would learn and Torah and learn the half Torah, meaning learn the Torah and Nevi'im, meaning they would read the Torah, plus they would learn from the words of the Nevi'im in order to do teshuvah. And then the last quarter of the day, they would daven to Hashem as much as they were able to and ask Hashem for mercy. Shneimar, as it states, as it states by Nehemiah, when the Jewish people came up from the exile, from the Golah during the times of Ezra and Nehemiah, and they celebrated Sukkot, and it was a big Kiddush Hashem. But right after Sukkot, all the and Sukkot all did Teshuvah, they came close to Hashem. But after Sukkot, they made a communal teshuvah, because many Jewish men married non-Jewish women during that time.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and Ezra had to, we learned about this. Ezra had to make everyone do teshuvah. The way he did teshuvah, how did he get everyone to do teshuvah? Did he go over to them and start screaming at them? How dare you marry a guy? You come from Yitzchak and Yaakov? But rather, he went to the Beis, the Azara, the courtyard of the Beis Hamikdash. He fell on his face and bowing and crying to Hashem, Hashem, your children have sinned, please have mercy. And as he's crying, all the other Jews who marry non-Jews came and joined him in doing teshuvah as well. Right? By him doing teshuvah had effect on everyone else.
A shortage of Jewish women when they went into exile. Did they mostly the land? Or what happened there?
It took everybody. Maybe we're saying, was there a shortage of Jewish women? Or I don't know if it was. I'm not sure if there's a shortage of Jewish women. But until then, they were living only in the Holy Land in Eretz Yisrael, where there were only Jewish women around. Now, for the first time in a very long time, they're suddenly surrounded by mainly non-Jewish women.
They have figures how many were carried in to Babel? Million?
There are figures, but the figures are, I think, a lowball, meaning there are figures. There's midrashim about it, and nobody says how much, but
There were some people still left in Israel.
a very small amount, correct? Just until Gedalia. Once Gedalia was killed, then they all.
Just curious.
So it says the second half of the day by Ezra, they read the Torah, quarter of a day, and a quarter of a day they were davening, praying to God, praying to Hashem and mishtachim, bowing down to Hashem to forgive them. The Gemara asks, maybe switch around the order. Maybe the first half of the day, divide into two. In the first quarter of the day, you should read the Torah, say the half Torah, daven. Then and then the second half of the day, fix what has to be fixed. Maybe do the opposite. And Rashi even adds on, this pasuk in Ezra we're bringing actually took place in the first half of the day, when Nehemiah, when all the Jews did teshuvah, it took place in the first half of the day. The Gemara answers, so you should seemingly do the introspection on the second half of the day, and the first half you should read the Torah and daven slichus, where it answers lo sakadaitach. It should not enter your mind to say this. As it states right over there, Ezra describes what exactly took place over there in the Beis Hamikdash. Is around me gathered everybody who listened to the word of Hashem. And I was sat. Mishoimim is mushumam. What's mushumam? Your word, it says stunned, shell-shocked, appalled. I sat appalled until the evening, meaning he was so overcome and overwhelmed by the great calamity that so many Jews married non-Jews that he was shell-shocked until the evening. But when it come to the evening, I was able to stand up from my fast. So the second half of the day by Ezra, he didn't do anything, right? He didn't make introspection. He was just sitting shell-shocked. But really, otherwise, you should go in the second half of the day. So therefore, Abaya, the real time to daven to Hashem says, in the evening I stood up. It's not quoted here, but the next words are v'efres kapi el Hashem. I spread out my hands to Hashem Elokai, Hashem my God. So evening time is really the good time to daven to Hashem, and it says Eliyahu Navi was always answered by mincha time, tfilas mincha. Eliyahu on the mountain, he davened to Hashem by the evening time, by mincha. It's a very auspicious time, and therefore Abaya said the time of davening should be in the second half of a day as opposed to the first half of a day. And Shachris, that's when they would make calculations, introspections to see what could be done.
So do we read the Haftarah on the second half of the day as a remembrance of Eliyahu, or do we get that instruction from Eliyahu?
Because you can say so. I don't think because of him, but I think that his idea that it's an Eis Ratzon, what we see from him is just that it's an Eis Ratzon.
Okay.
The end of this over here is also that he's saying it's an Eis Ratzon. I mean, ala goyla. It says ala michas erev. The next words are that Rashi brings as part of the proof. Pfeffer's copy. Right? He spread out his hands in the afternoon. So the afternoon is really the time for Hashem's Rahmanis on the Jewish people. We're going to continue with the third video of Beis Abchira. We just bring it up. Oh, it's right here. And I'm going to try blocking myself out this time. I'm not sure if it works on your screens. My screen it does. And let's make this full screen.
Class on the structure and details of the second Beis Hamikdash. So let's begin. In the last class, we learned about the Ezras Noshim, and now we're going to move on to learn about the Hazara. And it's going to take us a number of classes to go through the Hazara, since there is a lot involved in the Hazara. We're going to begin with a general overview. So in the Hazara, we have the Heichel, which we'll learn more about later on. We have an area called the Ezras Yisrael, another area called the Ezras Kayanim, and we have the Mizbeach. There are also other things here in the Hazara, but this is just a general overview. Let's move along to now seeing the size of the Hazara. So the Hazara was 187 amas by 135 amas, which is around 295 feet. So that would be for the length, by 212 feet. And in terms of the details of its length, we have the Ezras Yisrael was 11 amas, the Ezras Kayanim was 11 amas, the area of the Mizbeach was 32 amas, the area between the Mizbeach and the Heichel, which is 22 amas, and as we'll learn later, much of it was taken up with the steers that led into the Heichel. Then the Heichel was 100 amas, and at the end we again have 11 amas, and then in terms of the details of its width, so we have over here an area that is 60.5 amas, and as we'll learn later, the relevance of this area, which is the Tzafan, where many of the Karbanos were brought. Then we have this area over here, which covers the Mizbeach, was 62 amas, and then the final area between the Mizbeach and this wall, there was 12.5 amas. And in terms of the perspective of the size of the Hazara, so here we have another visual, so you can see that it's the same, if you remember, as the Ezras Noshim in terms of the 135 amas, around 212 feet, but in terms of the length, the Ezras Noshim was 135 amas in both ways, and it extended around till here, which was a little past over here, the courtyard beside 770. The Hazara was longer, it was 187 amas, which means it went further up over here. You can see it covers around 3 more houses along Eastern Parkway. Then you go up and back here. So this is the area of the Hazara, and from another perspective, you can see it over here. It goes along the side over here. Over here, it seems like it goes through the building, but it's really here along Kingston. And with that, we'll end the third class.
Okay, so Mr. Shem, tomorrow we'll have the fourth. Mr. Shem, tomorrow we'll have the fourth class, and I guess we'll pause for today. And also, and tonight and every night this week will be Shiurim and Yeshiva. Night is also food and drink served. It's also tonight's going to be a 2 Shiurim, one by Israel David Klein at 7:30. With the sources, copies given out, and then Rabbi Weinstein describing his amazing trip now to Eretz Yisrael, meeting Tanyo, a lot of Hashgacha Prata stories, and that'll be tonight to Mr. Hashem. Okay, Shekayach, we'll see you all, Mr. Hashem, tomorrow. Hopefully.